Say again. And scene. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say, gentlemen and gentlemen. What up? We're here for show number 5676 of the RC Pilots Lounge. Happy New Year. Happy 14th of January and all of that. We'll do a roll call in a minute. Basically, Spencer, yes. Mike Bird, Boss 223, Eddie K, Dad, what's happening? Dylan, Rick and Roy, Boss, Ken Bird, CVO, Wingman. I saw a Lego person name in here earlier too. How's everybody? What are we getting into? It's cold here. We're not getting into much but our jammies and under the covers. Hey, sorry about the other day when you had to fix my friend's truck and we took your boxes out for you. That's nah, man. It's all right. Fixed a lot of trucks over there. Thanks for taking out the boxes. Hangar 51, what's happening? Paul McNeil, CVO Hobo, as I mentioned. Your tires should arrive soon. Depends on the weather a little bit. Wingman, what up? Paul McNeil. So what are we talking about today? I'm about to start doing a live stream drywall and paint show because it's just nasty. I'm getting a race inside, for club racing. And if you weren't, I missed the bucket trying to sit back down yesterday, and I like totally fell into the middle of the track during the race. Had the old squared body Ford Bronco. Nice on the racetrack. That blue one. Was it on the racetrack or crawler style? Yes. In the white room with black curtains near the station for sure. Kenny's Concrete was a hit. And what's going on? Yeah, I got a lot. This is wintertime. So even on the surface side, it's the time for it's cream, dude. In the white room with black curtains. That's cream, right? It is the time for projects. Jethro. Craig, what's happening? On the track. Right on. Yeah, I think I remember. The all blue slash. Yeah. I mean, I'd know when I see it. I see so much. I see so much. I can hear the wah wah now. You know what I mean? Back when music was like good, crazy. Where the shadows run from themselves. So speaking of projects, what are you guys working on? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm working on a cold sore due to lack of vitamin D, C, B, A, and zinc and magnesium. Also, quite a lack of glucosamine and chondroitin. Yeah, don't know what any of that is. Hamilton's hanger in the house. What's going on? Ken Bird says it's warming up. It's only minus 37 now. Making chicken broth. That's what's up. Working on the F-22 Raptor. Holy smoke, 17 pounds of thrust on 12S. Laundry list. You got to get all the same clothes, and then it's so easy. And if all you wear is the same stuff all the time, no one can tell when you're behind a day or two on the laundry because everything is the same anyway. Don't ask me how I know. You working tomorrow, man? Who's working tomorrow? Some are, some aren't. I probably will be. I want to be there for everybody who might be off and want somewhere to go. Jeffrey Lower Alabama in the house. The Bills game tomorrow. Boss is working. Right says if you want to see weather, watch the Bills game tomorrow. Chiefs won tonight. Or last night. I mean. And holy smokes. Cowboys got creamed by the Packers tonight. Dad, you watch any of that? I know Buzz is happy. Yes, tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Some certain businesses will be open, certain ones will be closed. I've been being open on everything except Christmas Day itself. And like I think New Year's Day we took, I can't even remember anymore. Lions are up on the Rams right now. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, since I've asked you guys what projects you're working on, none of you rudely asked me what mine are. That's okay. I don't care either. You know what I mean? We need Dylan says everybody answer with super chats. Who all has the E-Flight Horizon Elite, the Elite Horizon membership? Don't do the chats though. Wrights says he does. Wrights says he does. I know. I think Jeff in Lower Alabama does. Oh, nice. LV is installing electronics in a 3D printed Super Hornet, also working on an advanced, holy smokes, FPV HUD experiment. That's cool. Very cool. I think CVO Hobo's got the elite membership. Guys say it's worth it, Dylan, but they say you got to do it through pilotryanmedia.com or it's not near as worth it. Hanger 51 says he does. Jeff in Lower Alabama says he does, and he'll be using it Tuesday through pilotryanmedia.com. You can see where it says it right there. Yeah. It is worth it, says Eddie K. Yeah. And with things like elite memberships, who needs to go to a hobby shop? You can't beat the deals online. Why would you ever go to one? Who needs them? Who needs them? Get used to going online because that will be your only choice very soon. I've been working on a couple things, but it's surface related for the most part. Very excited for the weather to break for some airplanes and jets that I have. In the meantime, I tell you what, the one plane I've never had that I feel like I continually miss out on the fun of. I've flown them before. You're never going to believe it when I tell you, in this time of year, it's still a viable choice for flying an airplane. I think, especially without having to go to a dedicated field. So, what is it? Guess right here in the live chat. And I'll tell you in a minute. And Hangar 51, I will answer that question in a second. A few of you finally asked me that since I beat you over the head to say it. P51D fan, what's going on? JCB 67, Victor RC Jets in the house. Sunday. I kind of liked it when it was Saturday. Who knows? It may end up going back to that. But I talked to my senior advisors first and the resident Bilbo Baggins in the house. Dan Zimmerman, what's going on? Want to make sure I say hello to everybody. Banana on Wheels. No. I need another guess. For the airplane, not the what I'm working on, but the airplane I'm wanting to get next. For this time of year, because what you can put on it, and I've missed out on it, but it's a classic. And you could fly it about anywhere. What am I talking about? This is fun. So it could have them if you put them on it. Gyrocopter, no sir. Gyrocopter. Timber Evo, no. More lackluster at best, but a classic that's been put through the test. What's it gonna be? Let me know. Blimp, close. I have a float plane de Havilland, and I did video on it last year on the snow, or the year before, don't even know. Amazing. Should watch it. Kyle, Noel, what's going on? Dylan doesn't know. Y'all are missing it, and it's right under your nose. That's all right. This is fun. Big stick. Good guesses. Good guesses. It's a modern. Let me add some more adjectives. A modern classic that most in the industry would agree on. This will be the nail in the coffin. That most in the industry could agree on, even folks from other camps, that this might be the world's best leading recommendation for learning how to fly RC. Go. Stick it with a fork. It's done. I'm waiting on the guesses. We cannot move on from this topic until Reitza, you are the winner. Finally. And everyone after that hint is now the winner. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. You're halfway there, but yes. Aeroscout. Yeah. That's it. It's not new. It's just the Aeroscout. And I've been bringing them into the shop like nuts, and I've been bringing in float kits as well, and I can't keep them in there. And I'm like, bro, I can't believe I don't have a video of that plane, first of all. And it's a good one. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do an Aeroscout. And with the floats on it, come on. The Sport Cub S, no, not so much. I've never really felt like I had flyaways on planes unless it was one of those little tiny ready to flies like that. Hold on, what's this? Aeroscout's a good time, especially if it's windy. Nice, Spencer. I think it'd be great to have a Snowblade on my SCX6. Fred says he has an Aeroscout in the box and has what's going on with the computer. Please stop. Thank you very much. Aeroscout in the box and have floats. What is going on? Make one of those. Hobbytown here doesn't do that, so online is the only option through. Doesn't do what, Roy? Points or something? The S2 is new. What's new about the S2, Jeff? Dude, Aeroscouts are actually a lot of fun, dude, and they're a hell of a seller. If you want to teach anybody to fly, that's a great thing to have around. I'm going to leave it on the ready to fly setup and not even bind it up to my good radio, because if you take it with you and a new person, then we both can fly. I thought there was floats for the Aeroscout for a long time, and they happen to be the old float set from what the LP Cub is what I'm thinking. Don't remember. But they do have floats for it now, and the S2 was the answer. The difference is the float mounts potentially. Why are you buying a plane on Tuesday, Jeff? What am I missing? I don't know, but whatever y'all do, you're doing it through pilotryanmedia.com. Gosh darn it. I'm dying. Real easy. Is that the difference, man? Well, wonderful. So, hey, if you like the idea of an Aeroscout with floats, get a new one at 18 million times the elite membership points. Rick and Roy, I mean, they may not stock it, but if you ask, really, if you ask your any hobby shop worth a damn should be willing to special order whatever it is you want. They should be glad to, as a matter of fact. Now, if you don't get the owner at the register, who knows? The people that work for the place won't necessarily have the same kind of sense of urgency potentially as the one writing the checks. No, Kenny. Futaba or Spectrum? Uh, yeah, I've never had a problem with the Ready to Fly radios, um, except for that little tiny one, man. The little tiny one. So you're saying put it on a good radio? I'm gonna take my chances, I think, but I appreciate the advice for sure. Um, yeah. So, Dad, thank you for the super chat. Um, Futaba or Spectrum? I mean, honestly, dude, both are great. I fly both. I do prefer Spectrum because of the amount of releases they do and bind and fly options they have. It just makes it so simple. Um, Futaba's not putting out bind and fly planes, you know what I mean? But E-flite is, and all the other brands at Horizon, and they have Spectrum in it. So that's kind of nice. Bind right up. And for the plug and play price versus the bind and fly price, the difference is what, $30? But if you buy that receiver by itself, it's 80 or so. Nice, Grandpa Burke. Yeah, I get it. It's like that when I'm there too. Yeah, work in progress, I'd say, Dylan. Hindsight's always 2020, man. I don't think they thought it was going to be that rough. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the computer. It's halfway, like wanting to act like it's going to kick me out. Cannot wait to see your shop coming east in the spring. Yeah, you better hustle. I always give the hobby shop the first choice. I can order it online myself. That's true. You can order it online yourself, but they can order it online for you too. You're already there, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Um, so, and it sends a message too, if they're listening at all, of hey, maybe I should have this. Um, there's some things that are a little bit one off where it's like, yeah, that ought to be a special order. And then there are other things that are like, man, they should always have these. Like if you're special ordering receivers, like basic 6-channel receivers, then they're missing the boat. But I mean, if it's an 8-channel or 10-channel receiver or something crazy, it's not so weird that they don't want to stock it. But yeah, if there's some employee that doesn't give a rip on the other end, they not only maybe don't care about you getting served and want to honor that relationship, but they potentially don't understand the severity of how important every stinking sale is that you can get. And so they don't hustle for it. So thanks. Um, and thank you, Dan. And look, people don't know till you tell them sometime. Like Sometimes the prices are different online than they are at the shop because they change the prices online. But none of us really at a shop are going to run around and make sure the tags are still right every day because there's enough other stuff to do. So Dan says they're still selling the Beach 18 for $449. I couldn't justify spending 100 more for it, so I bought it through my links. Again, thank you. I appreciate that. And any like if you is it $349 right now? That's crazy. It's awesome. You guys should snatch it up through your hobby shop or my links right here in the description. But the point is, if you were at my place and you said, "Hey, that's $349 at Horizon," I'd honor it. I would honor it because I need you coming back to to the shop. I would honor it and deal with Horizon on the backside, and they would make it. They would make it right. I had to honor a Father's Day sale on SCX6. I didn't have to, but I did, and they took care of the difference for me. Yeah, man. Right. So I will do that definitely in a minute. So yeah, thanks for doing that. Seriously, thanks for doing that. Yeah, man. I mean, if your local shop is trying at all and worth a dang, do it. Oh, bro, you have no idea how many people I've talked to that with other businesses that say the exact same thing. Um, it is so true. It's very true. I mean, it's hard to kind of remember before the internet now, but like if as if it wasn't niche and hard enough anyway. That's right, Eddie K. Thank you, man. And keep letting me know when you do, because I'll keep sending it on, whether I get satisfaction or not. Nice. Well, you guys that are forced into using Amazon when nothing, when all else fails, I got one of them too. So Righta wants to know if I think the stickers on this are easy to come off. Um, Probably, yeah. So, I mean, I have done a lot to this truck. It is, feels really good. Anyway, so Righta, um, if you look at the profile where there's this little hump on the roof of the hood, the sticker is not adhered all the way down in that like detail. So you could get under it very easy right there. Um, you would have to do some work, but I think you could totally get the stickers off if you're willing to do the work for sure. I've done some things to this at this point. It's got different rubber and wheels, two-stage foams, different power system and servo. I moved the shock location. Um, yeah, brass rings. Yeah, right. So that looks sweet, bro. That looks sweet. So I've been just that's been an easy slap on some stuff um project. So there's that. I recently got done putting the FMS FJ40 leaf springs, drive shafts, power system, servo, and I am looking right now at a so close to all the way done FJ55 kit that I built from RC four-wheel drive. Waiting on a few new things, more things to come, and I have to paint it. I'll show it to you though. Kit build deal. Yeah, it does look nice, and to the thing has straight axles, so it comes with these 100mm shocks, and I'm nuts. I don't want to buy 90mm shocks, so I just changed the location for the mounting, and I essentially dropped the truck half inch. So that's cool. And I've done brass before, like on diff covers and things. I wanted to try the inner brass ring. So on the front tires, because as far as the weight goes on these things, you want it as low as possible and forward usually too. I actually pretty much liked this thing as soon as I dropped the shocks. I liked how it felt. But now I've got some heavier wheels on it, and then brass rings in here, and then dual stage foams, which kind of pumped up my Patagonias a little bit and gave them a little bit of a crown, like a radius on the top, which is actually more like how they look in real life anyway. So I'm like super happy about these simple little mods. Hobbywing Fusion 2-in-1, servo, wheels, weights, two-stage foams. This one's ready to rock. Got to find a driver though. Fred Barron, thank you so much. Thank you. Keep on keeping on. Lackluster and mediocrity. Don't let anyone ever tell you mediocre isn't good enough. Yeah, totally sick Jeep, y'all. And this, I gotta paint it. But this is the RC four-wheel drive FJ55. I have a thing for box backs. So I got all the body cut. The holes have been drilled and body reamed out for the lights and the vents and the mirrors and the door handles and all that stuff. So this thing, I mean, legit, it was easier to build the thing than it was to do the body. So paint is next. There's a full interior in there, and there's dimples that tell you where to do the holes, but you really better mock it up and make sure everything fits. This was way easier to put together than do the body. So this is a leaf spring kit. That's what I'm working on. It's not much of a performer, but it's going to be a cool trail truck. And you can see it doesn't have any inner fenders or really side rails for that matter yet. They're on the way. So I'm doing that. Most of the RC four-wheel drive stuff is literally hard bodies. So they're, even though the suspension is stiff, they're pretty heavy up top. So you get some of what you want. This being a full Lexan situation, I didn't think I was going to get that. So probably bumpers, metal bumpers are in the works for this, but definitely inner fenders and all of that complement in here, and rock rails will help seal it up and also add some weight down low. But yeah, this is definitely a trail truck, not much of a performer. I think it might be nice to tow out something. But when the weather gets nasty, this is the kind of stuff I'm working on. And of course, I'm keeping my race kits going too, changing parts here and there on my race kits. That's cool too. But performance wise, I love eking every bit of performance I can out of scale trucks. I'm not into the competition with the crawling. Like, you're never going to tell me to hurry up and do it on time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be timed for what I conceive as and perceive as time to chill out. So yeah, very much looking forward to painting this one. A lot of times they assume with Lexan you're going to paint inside of the body and maintain the shine and all that. Like, the more, if you paint outside, it's actually way more scale looking. So, and I have a thing for doing patinas and stuff like that. So this will be pretty much, I'm going to go with a probably classic kind of scheme on this FJ55, where it's going to be a color down low and then white, and then color on the roof's the same as the one down here. So still trying to decide on that. But I'm definitely going to do like I did my Vanquish, where I do the I will paint the rust color on the inside of the Lexan. So I'll use all the window masks on the inside of the truck instead of the outside. I'm sorry, that's where they use them anyway. I'll use the window mask on the inside as intended. And then there's a film of plastic that's on these bodies to protect them. And then they want you to paint the whole thing and then peel off all this plastic that's on the body, and you're done. Well, what I'll do is I'll cut the windows in. And so when I peel off the plastic, I'll peel off all the plastics except for where the windows are. And that way I can do my painting on the outside without having to reuse or make new masks. I just cut this out, get a fresh number 11 blade, cut it out, and do it to it. But I want to go to Hobby Lobby and get some stuff to really, I need to do some shopping for the Winnebago, and I want to make the interior of this thing as ugly as possible. So it's a 1980s FJ55, but I feel like the body style went back to the 60s. The only thing different was like the way they did some of the lights. So yeah. But yeah, metal bumpers, wheel wells and things like that are going to dress this up nice. And this has a dynamite power system and servo in it too, and a little bit smaller tires than are on our regular crawlers. These are, instead of 1.9 rims, these are 1.55s. You don't have to paint it on the inside. No, but like I said, I'm going to do my rust color on the inside. So that way, if any of the paint gets chipped or I over sand it when I'm doing, or I might even do salt chipping a little on this one. If I overdo it on the outside and I get into the Lexan, it's not a big deal because it's rust colored. It's part of what I'm going for anyway, to add depth. So yeah, this will be cool. What's up, Noots? So that's what I'm working on. And I think I'm gonna be putting floats on a Aero Scout soon. Yeah. Roy, yeah, and those painting tips, that's the same way I did some airplane stuff in the past too. The only difference is with the cars, I'll go for rust, as the base inside or the base on the bottom of the paint layers. And with the planes, I would go silver, because they're aluminum, not metal that's going to rust. So starting with a plane that's silver already was always amazing. Um, or adding it. Am I going to do a video of the paint job? Um, I could do a time lapse or something, I suppose. Painting it right now is kind of a pain in the butt because it's like you got to paint them outside, really. I mean, I'm going to use rattle cans. And the thing is, too, on this stuff, same with the planes. You guys have heard it. If you've ever done any custom jobs, they say clean your plane first. You know what I mean? And with this, it's the same thing. Make sure it's all clean, especially after you've handled it forever and you got your greasy hands all over it. Um, One nice thing about the patina deal, though, is like if literally I've done this before where I've not really cleaned it wonderfully, and maybe the paint fails in a spot or two. It's not the end of the world because it's a patina rough paint job anyway. But if you're going for SEMA quality shine, then yeah, you better double sure clean it and everything like that. But yeah, that's what they say. Clean it, and if you can, scuff it a little bit with like a greeny weenie or something. But yeah, you don't have to paint the inside, and I feel like with it's going to make it look more scale. And if you don't take my word for it, you can check out guys like RC Everyday and Scale Builders Guild who have actually done some FJ55s, and for sure, Scale Builder Matt painted his on the outside. Mike, I haven't, no, but like my patina efforts were motivated by guys who do little scale plastic models. And really, when I did the Bunny Fighter, the MiG 21, the colors were so obnoxious, it just needed knocked down. So I was like, man, and I've done washes and things like that on planes, but I wanted to do more. And especially on the B-26, that's when I got into I did the salt chipping on that B-26, and it was a ton of work, but it ended up really good looking. Really good looking. But I had so much salt on that bird, I couldn't keep it from going white. I had to end up putting so much urethane on it to darken it up where it wanted to just go white because of the salt. Ryan, what type of cleaner do you suggest to, hold on, y'all, you guys can help me answer this question. What type of cleaner do you suggest to clean foam airplanes? I'm getting ready to do Minwax. It looks more scale, and cleaning before sounds like an awesome idea. Yeah, a lot of the guys that do custom paint jobs are going to tell you. If you check out the RC Geek, I'm sure he's going to tell you what he's doing first to clean the planes. P51D fan says, I got in plastic models. The painting takes 90% of the work to get right. I can believe it. Yeah, RC Patina guy, I see him all the time in the live chats. But yeah, what are you guys using to clean? Flak bait did look awesome, bro. Thanks. That was a interesting project. And I did that on a foam plane. So salt chipping's a little bit better on something that's not porous. Like I said, I couldn't hardly get the salt off of it. And I had to urethane it a lot to kind of, in a way, bring the green back. Like I kind of whited out the whole thing with all that salt and water and everything. It's crazy. It was crazy. And there's a fine line. It's like if I started scrubbing the salt off too soon, it took more of the paint off than I wanted to. So I think I got to where I was like, I'm waiting. And I wanted big chips. So I used kosher salt instead of like iodized salt. Anyway, I scrubbed that plane so hard, dude. I'm sure it was just the worst thing on the servos and everything. I mean, I tried to seal it up. Eddie K says to Charles, he uses a little isopropyl alcohol before putting a finish on the foam birds. Nice. I've heard alcohol is, yeah, alcohol damp cloth lightly. It will take some old paint off. Primer then, and then do your thing. Mike Bird put up a video link to, I'm sure, Patina Guy. Cutting the outside film with fresh blade is great for painting black or chrome window trim like Weather Seal, even if base is underneath. When I did when I did the FJ45 from Vanquish, I did the Weather Seal also black, and I did it from the inside too. But the mask did not need to be as nice. So I had the windows masked off inside and then masked off the where I wanted the black at and did black just in those spots and then did my rust color. But yeah. If you think it out, you can always make it happen, you know? Okay, I want to protect the paint on my EC 1500. Yeah, clean it up and you gonna do the min are you brushing on Minwax or are you spraying on something? After my paint jobs on planes, a lot of times I've either done that Minwax stuff or aerosol satin clear. Usually the satin clear is to knock down the shine on the decals that I ordered. Um, Speaking of all this paint job stuff, I'm still kind of answering the questions about the projects I'm working on. Um, I've got a crawler body for the Morvair, the Matt's Off-Road Recovery, that Corvair thing. It's a Lakewood, I guess. Um, it's like a cool old station wagon that is already got the fenders cut out for big ass tires. So I'm probably gonna do Matt's Off-Road Recovery's car. Or I'm just gonna patina the thing out myself. I kinda like the challenge of making something look like something else though sometimes. So, like, with Matt's Off-Road Recovery, you get the colors right and the decals and you're done. Smash the like button, y'all, says Newts. Here's an answer. Brushing on, he says, clean with warm water and water-based Minwax brush on or spray. Yep. Charles, on that flat gray paint on the EC, you'll be fine just clearing over the paint. Um, it'll probably darken up that gray a little bit too, depending on what gloss you got. But yeah, dude, the Morvair from Matt's Off-Road Recovery up on big Patagonias, it's gonna be sick. I'm gonna do the same rims and everything. And I have probably it's going on a Red Cat chassis unless I build a base camp. I use a product called Cinch. On your butt? Eddie K says, Charles, I would use some foam brushes. I think that's good advice. Personally, I can't stand foam brushes and use bristle brushes, but foam brushes are cheap and you throw them away, man. you almost have to be fast if you use you have to keep a wet edge or something, you know what I mean? If you use a brush, I feel like. I've done some customs on some planes now. I think that's where I got the audacity to be willing to paint these trucks, but that painting on the inside is something I never heard of because with the planes, there's no painting on the inside. Foam brush is great for no brush marks. True. Wet edge, though, is also good for no brush marks. If you keep a wet edge and you're not dragging over stuff that's flashing out, you'll be all right too. Here's a question for everyone else other than me because I have no idea. To answer this question assumes that you have some actual experience and aren't talking from the side of your face. All good advice, though, in here. P51D fan. The Mission Model paints are amazing. I have a ton at the store. Nobody wants to buy them because they're premium priced, but definitely for airbrush. I've used Mission Model paints with good success using Badger airbrushes. Nice. That's one thing I haven't done is any airbrushing. Someday I'm gonna do 3D printing too, man. That Bamboo Labs thing is like $400, and I got to dig into it more because I'm not sure if I have the wherewithal. John, who owner of Mission Models, I like him quite a bit. I've spoke with him at a couple different trade shows. I really do like him, and the paints are top notch, like really automotive grade, like quality and color profiles. Really neat, really good. Really good. I paid a pretty penny for them to have them in the shop too. I did. Vallejo, that stuff's good too. It's a little harder to find for me. I don't know where to order it from because it's a real surprise to me that the regular what the hell that my regular vendors don't have that stuff. Yeah, Vallejo, I'm familiar with it. They've got some really neat weathering things going on as well. Do you have the gray EC 1500, Charles? That's basically a flat paint on it now. So whatever you put on there is going to drag. Man, on a plane that's already so flat like that, part of me says rattle can that thing, man. Rattle can that. Still clean it, but like rattle can it. What's up, Jackson? I am for real. What's the what's up with the Rams right now? Talk to me. Let's have an update. What's the score? What's the score? My kid spent $40 or $50 of his Christmas money on football cards today. 24-20 Lions. Good. Who's quarterback for? Is it the Chargers? Who's quarterbacking the Chargers? That's how I remember these teams. Sorry. What's football? Football is a new to me thing that I've only paid attention to since my kid got into it. But it's all right. especially if you're salt of the earth working class. It's like this one common crazy bond. Um, it's a pleasant distraction. But there are other pleasant things that can distract you at your age, and I would chase that instead of the score if it's me. Yeah, I thought that was. See, I like Stafford, man. I think that dude is good. Um, I think he's a really good quarterback. Well, yeah. Um, duh. Taylor Swift's all right too. I don't care what you say. Um, yeah, yeah. Stafford's on. I always get these mixed up. The Rams and the Chargers. So it's the Rams playing right now. It's no. Yeah, it's the Rams and that's Stafford. Right. Herbert's the Chargers. Got you. Oh no. He seemed okay last night, Wild Bill. What? But I like the Lions too, man. Niners, Packers next week. The way the Packers played today, it's their game. But I like McCaffrey, bro. It's hard not to. I mean, some people just stand out. That's what it is. You know what I mean? I thought I saw him once he got home. Oh gosh. What's up, Caleb? Dirt racing. Dirt racing's cool. It's no football, but it's cool. Joe Namath. So I don't think I got to see a lot of him, but I remember Montana and Marino and those guys. I liked McMahon a lot, and I remember when he got hurt and put out and done. It was the Steelers, man. The dude had like a list of names on his towel of folks he was gonna destroy. And he body it was after the whistle, I think, too, slammed him. And that was the end for Jim McMahon, number 9, Chicago Bears. I had a signed autograph, dude. You don't watch football anymore? I never really watched it before. I mean, I can't stand the commercials. I mean, they're trying to program everybody with a bunch of horse shit. But I don't tend to let things ruin stuff for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let things ruin stuff for me. I mean, Starbucks, I don't care about their politics. I just want their coffee, man. Wes, what are you doing here, man? Chilling. You guys that quit football because of what boss says, let me tell you something. It's pretty much safe to come back right now. You'll see some Bud Light ads here and there, but they quit preaching because they lost their ass. When you go that, you go broke. You seeing it with Disney and you're seeing it with all kinds of stuff right now. Don't worry. Don't let it ruin it for you. If you like the game, come on back. Tell them I sent you and use the link in the bloody description. Thank you very little. Life's too short to let somebody else's mess ruin things you like for yourself. I'm just saying, I don't like that stuff either. But really ask yourself, when were you really like completely tickled with the way things were going in the world? You got to pick and choose like everybody else. Too many ads, too little action. That's cool. Y'all do what you want to do. Yeah, you run your own life. That's perfect. But who's running it if you're letting that stuff make choices for you? I mean, you're choosing, but if I like something, nothing's going to run me off of it. If the D bag who runs Starbucks votes wrong, consider uh, as far as I can am considered, uh, it's not going to keep me from getting coffee on my way to work, man. It's just not. So that's my choice. Yeah. Yeah, dude. And that's the wonderful thing about the hobby is because there's a ton of people that think a million different ways and no one cares because we're here playing with the best toys that the world has ever known. Radio control is as good as it's ever been, and it keeps getting better. We've got y'all take it for granted, and I do too. We've got jets and prop planes and warbirds and motorcycles and boats and submarines, 3D printers. What? And if you got the gumption, you can broadcast your dumbass to the whole world if you want to and see if anybody wants to watch it. There has not been a better time to be alive. Things are crazy. Well, that's all right. It is written. Things are going to be crazy. But it doesn't say anywhere not to let it keep you from enjoying yourself. Just saying. I used to have a problem with the preacher man at this one place I went to, and I was telling my grandpa about it. And I was carrying on pretty good about this preacher man. And he's like, and I kind of apply it to everything. I know it's not the same, but it's like, don't let the man ruin the message for you. Like, okay, you don't like the preacher, but don't let that keep you from the message or what you're there for, right? If you like football, you must not like it that much. If it's easy to turn it off, I don't know. Who cares? Um, Wes, you're rubbing it in. I'll just tell you right now, a little bit. I'm glad you're having fun. I'm going through hell to keep the doors open, but I'm glad you're having fun. So anyway, what are you working on? I'm working on getting something to drink. You have no idea, Wes. So we're going to take a commercial break real quick, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, you can watch what should we watch? Let's watch. Let me go into the archives. Yeah, watch this.
Running the blue one, he's got 100-seat 2S pack, and Tommy has the orange, the red Losi motorcycle, and he's running a 30-seat pack. I call that out because you can actually see that as a difference. Eat dirt, Dad. That's what he says right there. We had a great time. And this is the first run on loose dirt for these guys. So they had experimented around on the pavement with the modes a little bit, and here they're kind of cycling through it and seeing what to expect out of the different modes. Of course, there is 3 different modes on the bike itself. Dirt mode allows the Pro Moto MX to pitch up enough without clipping the throttle for going up jumps, faces, and obstacles, but helps prevent wheelie overs by intuitively clipping the throttle output if the bike begins to pitch up too far. Street mode senses when the Pro Moto MX starts to pitch up and clips the throttle quickly, getting the front tire back on the ground to accelerate as much as possible. Wheelie control, let it rip. Wheelie control lets you hold wheelies on smooth surfaces all the way to top speed. Totally insane. So if you want to know where to get one, order through the link in the description, or come into the RC Fun Park in Granger, Indiana. Now, it looks like the combo pack is the ones that are going to be available in July. The other red and blue versions are back ordered with no ETA. So if you want one, I'll put a link to the combo in the description. If you like this video, check out the rest of the channel and my other socials.
That's crazy. You guys do wheelie modes yet? Oh, dang, James, that looks cool. Ah! Oh.
Watch James do first. He's getting better than that.
It looks good out here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back. More coffee. Let's go. Let's see. We'll turn this down. Maybe. This is when I'd like to mess up the whole stream. It's over this kind of stuff.
That looks all right.
It looks all right. There we go. Nope. Yeah, there it is. Da, 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 da. Dirt bike's crazy. Like a real one, Steve? RC Death Squadron. Yeah, it's amazing, bro. That thing is neat. It's what I'm saying. It's the best. It's the best it's ever been. Yeah, I still got this B25. I probably ought to just pack it back up, man. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And this track, most tracks aren't made for dirt bikes. You know what I'm saying? Killer RC bike. Nice. You're patient? All right. That's cool too. That's cool too. That is cool too. I have run out of weather now. It is cold. Very much so. Bust out a plane. Man, I don't have the space for it. I got a Carbon ZT28 over here. But man, it's huge. I had to do that on video. All the time I'm changing my schedule, right? I mean, I was doing holiday hours at the shop, which, the thing about that was I thought I was going to make all I really want to do is make content, to be honest. That's all I've ever really wanted to do. That's when I'm my best. But now I'm an entrepreneur. So there's that. Let's get this off. Okay. Yeah, man. It's I don't want to open it. It's too big. If I open it, I don't have the space for it. My table's a mess. I've been doing bead locks and building crawler kits. My table is an absolute mess. And I ought to get a B25 out of the way first. But I'm only going to do that in the dark. Unless they want to sponsor a show. So there's that. Minus 18. Yikes, man. Minus 18. That sucks. That sucks. That's why I'm thinking about the Aeroscout on floats, man. Let's do it in front of the shop. At least I can fly something. Or putting my floats back on the Beaver. That was killer on floats. to be honest. So nice. It's wolf time again. All right, man. See you later. Yeah, Roy. I doubt we'll see that. But yeah. Mountain RC shoveled snow to fly in the mountains. Nice. Eddie K wants to know if anybody uses a transmitter cover or glove. I have used gloves and cut the fingertips out of them, is what I've done in the past. 32 is about my cutoff though. Like 25 is the for real too cold for me. I've done it forever where I've flown in the cold. Yeah, Roy. No, that's cool. I threw it out there too. But no, I'd be highly no. I don't see it. I can't stand wearing gloves, period, and especially for and still trying to fly. Like if it's isotoners or something like super thin, even then I can't stand it. So I gotta cut the fingers out, you know, and not all of them, just the ones I use. So I'll just cut these. So at least I got the other ones are still gloved. There you go. Mountain RC uses a transmitter cover. That'd probably be all right. I've never had the desire to want to use one, but it would probably do the job. It seems clumsy to me, but I've never used one, so hard to say. I used chore gloves, brown cloth, the cheapos, and a quick flight before my hands got jacked. Writes it says, if I got to use gloves to fly, I ain't flying. 20 years ago, maybe. I get it. I get it. I get it. Anybody do Warbird air races at their club? Tim Smith wants to know. Anybody? Anybody? Let us know in the comments below. Kenny says he flies real flight in the cold weather. Yeah. And he's in Florida. Fred said he flew in the winter years ago. Yeah. The longer I do it, the less I do it. Kenny says he's flying right now. Nice. You guys doing real flight right now? That's cool. On the other end, when is it too hot to fly? When is it questionable for the planes in the heat? If it's really, really, really hot, you're, it's hard on the batteries and stuff. My thing is the sunlight. Like if I can keep the planes out of the direct sunlight, that's good. Because the foam, man, sometimes if it's too bad, I will definitely take the canopy off and put it under the plane in the shade, or I'll cover the plane up, or I'll flip it upside down. Because if it's gonna gator the foam, I'd rather gator it on the bottom, I guess. So yeah. Keith Christie says they do sort of a pylon race inside of a gym with radians. Oh, neat. It's a blast. Ultra micro radians. And Jeff says they used to mess around with a 2 pylon course at his club. Jeff uses a cooler to insulate his batteries summer and winter. Yeah. Can we do a Hot Wheels unboxing? I do have the space for it, but I don't have any Hot Wheels. I don't have any Hot Wheels. And I don't have any mail to open here. Kenny says it's never too hot. And that fool lives in Florida, so man, that's saying something. Only fist fight at our club was the result of a pylon race. Fred flies during late evenings or golden hour for the calm winds a lot. Yeah. Mark, are the Power Hobby armors a decent? What are those? Are those batteries? I don't even know what those are. What are those, partner? What are those? Let me know. Anybody have an IX14? You looking to get one, Dylan? Or you got one already? Dylan wants to. Uh-oh. Eddie K says he's got one. I know he's got one. Yeah, yeah. Anyone have an IX14? You got any questions, man, about one? Axe. Stock tires for Arrma Typhon. Gotcha. I don't know. I have no experience with them, but I would say this: it's got to, whatever it is, it's got to be 17 millimeter hex. Dylan wants to know, you guys that have an IX14, how you like them? How do you like them? I use an NX10, and I would use NX8 if that's all I had. I'd be happy with it. I very rarely need anything more than that. So yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have had some things sent to me in my day, and so I have an NX10. Otherwise, I'd still be using the DX stuff. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Eddie K highly recommends the IX14. Yeah. Yeah, NX10. I still have a Futaba, but I generally go for the Spectrum. The only reason I have a Futaba is because I did magazine write-up on one a long time ago. We are going to take another short break. I'm going to go to the restroom. So we're going to put on the rest of this. Nope. We're just gonna be back in a minute. It's just you guys talk to each other. I'll be right back. What up? Let's see. What do we miss? Yeah, what's everybody's cutoff for? Yeah, no, Mark. Sorry, I haven't heard anything about those tires. Where do you get those tires at? Who sells those? Power Hobby. 50s and 60s all day. Michael Bear. Sort out what? So yeah, hour and a half in, man. We are rocking on a Sunday night, drinking coffee, staying up late. You working tomorrow, Dill? I will be at the shop. Yeah, I don't have any sponsors. So when we took our commercial break, there was nothing going on. That's what happened. That's what happened, Michael Bear. My bad. It was brought to you by the Rolling Stones. And so they painted it black. That's what happened there. Yes. That's what happened there. Yep. Can't remember the official website. I see. I see. I see what you mean. 23-24 Detroit, but here comes the Rams. Tim Smith just ordered the Night Radiant through PilotRineMedia.com. You can see it says it there right after Radiant. It's just understood. It's like a silent E. You know what I mean? It's just there. You just know it. You just know. Nice. That's a fun one. That's a fun one. And if you want aerobatics at night, you have to think about the Night Timber X by all means. The Night Timber X is a good choice if you want to do aerobatics. And Flex has a bunch of cool stuff too. If you want to get aerobatic with it. Na. So yeah. Good times. We forever were taking Night Radiants to the clubs we were going to where we would have night flies and things like that. And then we got to where we were taking Night Timber X's also. Pretty, what a difference, you know? What a difference. So if you want to do aerobatics, that's the way to go. If you just want to take it easy, man, you can't beat that Night Radiant. you know. And you can fly the Timber X nice and easy. It's just nice. Not directly Fred, but you can get a ton of RC four-wheel drive at Horizon or A-Main. So that might be the way to go. What are you looking for? But honestly, the better selection is at their website, of course, because it's their website. There's a lot, but A-Main has, and Horizon for that matter as well. A-Main and Horizon seem to have nearly all of the catalog from RC four-wheel drive on their site. But generally, oh yeah, Patagonia's. But generally, the newer items may not yet have populated the other vendor websites. The way things are going, if you feel like it, almost try my A-Main one, dude. Let's see what happens. You want the 1.9s with the 4.75 bro, I'll tell you the part number right now. Hold on. I should try to get one though, Fred. Direct to them. I like their stuff, man. Especially, I mean, even if you don't go with their kits, they have so much aftermarket that's great. Oh, there you go. Let me see if I can't find it on A-Main, because sometimes the part numbers get different. TO184. We're going to look RC4WD Patagonias. So there's a couple different compounds. It's the X2S3. That's probably a way to go. Yeah. So on the A-Main site, Fred, I'll type it in. This is the number on A-Main. Right there. So that's the part number for them at A-Main. Obviously, you'll need 2 sets. I use them all the time. They're good. That's what's on the CJ right now, is those. With some Vanquish 2-stage foams, which I also got from A-Main. We look those up too, just for giggles. Back order, back order, back order. Nah, they're back ordered. So, I mean, Proline has some really cool dual stage foams as well. And you don't have to have dual stage foams. I just am at the point where I was ready to try it. Yeah, so the part number, yeah, Fred, thank you. The foams or the tires, Jeff? Because the tires are definitely in stock at A-Main, but the Vanquish foams aren't. Does Horizon have Vanquish foams? Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, and maybe that's the way to go for points and things like that. So that's cool to know that it's the same part number. Yep. Definitely take advantage of all those savings y'all can get for sure. No worries. Don't worry about me, you guys. Just a little bit. So let's see. We're just hanging out, RCing. Half the time with RCing, it's shopping. Yeah, it comes with the stock foams are fine. Also, they'll feel stiff, but they'll loosen up without a doubt. I think these were the stock ones, and it took a while before they got too soft. So now that they got different ones in there, it's like good to go. But I had worn them out. That was it, you know. Which happens. Oh yeah, they got the Vanquish stuff here at Horizon as well. Nice. Makes sense. ProTech. Proline is Horizon's brand. Yeah. ProTech is A-Main's. Let me see if they have the foams, dude. They may not, since they have the Proline stuff. I'm looking. Kinda. What do they call it? I'm gonna punch in the part number. Hold on. I might be able to find it. Part number for them. Yes. Here we go. Let me see if they got it. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm not seeing them at Horizon. That's all right. Yeah, love the Patagonias. And Proline has dual stagers if you're into that. I am. I'm ready to try it because I've done the other thing. And I'm not really into the silicone 3D printed wheel inserts yet. So, what's up, Don? So, I haven't tried those. This is the first set of dual stage I have right now. Alberto, my dad had a green FJ40, like a 78 or 79 with the military style back seats. Would like to buy one someday. Dude, they got an excellent model of one right now at FMS. I don't know if you've seen it. It's yellow or blue. If you go to pilotridemedia.com, there's an FMS logo. You click it and you go right to FMS and you can check it out. it's awesome, and it's like $350 for a 10 scale, actually bigger than 10 scale, more like 6 scale FJ40. Beautiful. Jeff and Laura, Alabama. Yeah, man. RC Chili Bowl's a big deal. Racing, man. I mean, it is a big deal. I didn't bring my FJ home with me, but mine is I've done a lot of things to it. It's pretty all right. Pretty all right. 24-23 Detroit. Is it over? Did Stafford ever come back after getting hurt? Didn't you win a main? Last week I did. Like the C. The C main. I did okay yesterday, but not as good as usual. It's time for new tires for both my rigs. And my diff went out on my short course truck yesterday, so I didn't get to finish my third qualifier. And then I tightened up the slipper because I thought that's what it was, and jumped in there was only an A main. And I didn't get to finish it either. My diff was, I couldn't clear the doubles, or there was nothing. So unfortunately, I only got to race really my buggy all the way through. What I do in the B main, I was third or fourth or something, I think. Sometimes it's pretty rough. Depends who you're racing with and what happens. It's easy to bump somebody or that. When the C main the other day, I think I got out in front and was just able to keep it clean, and that's why. Because it's easy to get messy. But I've won mains before. I've won B main a couple times. It just depends how many people show up, basically. First time I raced outside, I won the B main. I definitely conceptually get what makes speed is not the car as much as, it's definitely the driver, but it's the line you take. It's the line you take. And it's the opportunity you take. When you can go fast, go fast. So there's a lot of starting and stopping. There's a lot of gassing and braking, And if you can get fast on the parts that slow everybody else down, there's usually, even if it looks like it's snaking, there's usually a line in it that if you take it, you'll be fast. The fast guys, that's the thing about marshalling races too, is you're out there on the track watching, basically waiting for someone to wreck. And so it's easy. It's easy to see the line they're on, and try to replicate that. The best, I perform the best when I relax. It's rough losing races to kids 20 years younger. I wouldn't know, man. Actually, I would, but I don't care. That's the thing. And unless the kid's like a phenomenon, a ton of people beat me. About half. I'm right in the middle, bro. I really am about the middle of the pack, no matter what, in a way. So I'm beating as many people as are beating me. But I guarantee you with bashers, I'd have them. We're racing two-wheel drive stuff. Four-wheel drive is what bashers know. Wow, RC Plane's going to have 100 planes soon. Yeah, I have no idea how many I've had in my time. There was years ago, I knew, and it was ridiculous. I have no idea how many planes have passed through my hands at this point. Yeah, it's a solid hobby, good habit to have. There's worse things that you could spend it on, you know. So we're approaching 2 hours, probably about 8 minutes. We're gonna wrap it. Any questions, things like that, let me know, and we're gonna dip. I have a handful, and I get planes, and I definitely get rid of them all the time, too. Yeah, I'll watch that game. Lackluster and mediocre racing for the win. Yeah, that's me. Medium fries for life. That's what up. Well, at least the days are getting longer and all that good stuff. Mountain RC asks if anybody keeps a flight log book, tracking flight batteries, etc. If you were running smart batteries, they'll track it. Those batteries track themselves. Yeah, wanting some good weather, dude. I got some projects to finish painting, dude, and another one to start that's going to need painted too. Yeah, man. Thanks, Wrights. What's up, Micah? Ching. You came just in time for us to split. I used to mark hashes on the tails of my planes, but since I've been in the business, not so much. Because I always know, for the most part, whatever I got's going to usually end up being someone else's. Hangar is full indeed, but I'm just going to buy more planes, to be honest. Yeah, man. Well, this is a fun place to come talk about it. A lot of us have, Ryan, look out for number one and don't step in number two. Thanks. What a story. I got a handful I haven't flown yet, man. I'm dying. And now it's winter time and I'm freeing up on time, but the weather is not. Best hobby in the world, man, without a doubt, dude. I'm enjoying that racing so much. I'm thinking about doing it even at other places, but I don't want to set up another car for carpet. I'm so cheap. I would just change tires and call it a day, even though it should be separate setups. FPV racing. I want to do FPV rock crawling. Do I have a plane I just won't give up? Yeah. I had a bunch of them I won't just give up. Custom jobs I don't like giving up. T6, P47, Golden Age stuff, high wing shenanigans on Cessnas and big Cubs I don't want to give up. I've held on to things for a long time that I finally ended up giving up, but regret giving up. Man, I've always wanted a runway at my house. Um, because literally flying this stuff on camera is really all I've ever wanted to do. And it's ironic that running a hobby shop and being around it all the time, it's harder to get it done. And maybe it's because because I do get to be around it all the time and help other people have fun with it and find what's right for them. That satiates the hunger a little bit, I think. Because when I had the regular job, my gosh, I could not. When I had a minute, I was gonna go do it. But I do it all day, but I don't do it all day. I'm helping other people do it all day, but it's still doing it, you know. So I don't know. I think that's it, you know, partly. And I've been in and out of and back and forth with camera people for the whole thing. So that's a thing as well. And that's why it's easier to do the surface videos, because I can film it and drive it at the same time. Brian Phillips Driveway is sick. RC Death Squadron. Brian is one of my favorite people on YouTube. Me and Brian are mortal enemies, so you should leave now. Kidding. Brian and I talk on the phone all the time. He's nuttier than a fruitcake, and I love him to death. Dude's got like 200,000 subs. I got 21,000 subs, and he acts like I'm knocking down his door. The competition on YouTube is palpable, ugly, and it tastes bad, but we're all friends, really. I mean, I talked to Nate Sailor on the phone too, and Tail Heavy and all kinds of guys on YouTube. I've been doing it for a while, y'all. But there's certain things I don't do. So I don't get the subs that some of the folks do because they'll do anything, and I just won't. But yeah, man, Brian's crazy. He's fun, and he's able to do it right at his house, and his wife helps. Good luck beating that. You know what I mean? It's tough. Ha. When you see a real plane, you want to fly it in, remote control style. I get it. I get it. Yeah, Brian's funny. Brian knows me. None of them want to acknowledge it publicly, though, that I exist, because they're afraid of their viewers coming watching me. Big threat over here with 21,000. Big threat to 500K and 200 whatever thousand or something. It's hilarious. Fred's got about 140 planes. And how many of those guys shout you out? They don't, Roy. They don't. And I managed to dodge the bullet with Tail Heavy too, because they talk smack in a fun way, you know. But I'm not good enough to sing praises, and I'm not bad enough to get smack talked. So yeah, it's fine. This is what, Roy, this is what it's always been. This is why people don't last. I mean, how many guys, you guys that have been around forever, right? How many different channels were there you were watching when you first met me on YouTube? that are still doing it. None. Those guys that were at other companies back in the day, Banana and Nitro planes, where are they? Where are they? They don't last, man. And I mean, in a way, I understand why, but it's fun. I'm a special kind of crazy. I love it, and it is what it is. I'm still here, and you guys, thanks for hanging on, because oh yeah, you should get multiple perspectives. It's a good way to learn who's full of shit and who's not. Too. I mean, you watch some people long enough and they say different things. So my approach, and I learned this from being in the forums, which is like pre-social media, but it's basically like training for social media. I learned a long time ago that when you were going to explain how you did something or how you landed something or how you fly something, that the best way to talk about it is to just explain it in a way that it's evident you're just talking about, this is how I do it, not this is the only way to do it. When people acted like the way they did it was the only way to do it, they got flamed. They always got flamed. So you got to explain what works for you and not act like you're the ultimate authority, and you end up being the authority, because it's just honest. It's good stuff. You've seen him mention me on the show. I mean, just to get thrown under the bus. It's all fine. I mean, a shout out would be wonderful from either of them, but it's okay. Competition's weird, and it's fine. But yeah, like, I just try to say what works for me, and then it's a kind of take it or leave it. Recently, boss. Recently, man, somebody should send me a link if you ever see something like that. But yeah, I just like to say what works for me, because sometimes this stuff is hard to do, but never like I'm the absolute, like there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You know what I mean? I mean, I remember seeing guys dead sticking in the twin 80 millimeter A10, and dude, the whole world's watching this guy dead stick it in time after time after time, coming in so hot, dead sticking it in. This is like completely wrong in a way, depending on who you ask, way to land this plane, especially that one that had the reputation for really bouncing if you didn't get it just perfect. And but the cat was working it out, dead sticking in this big heavy crazy A10 every time. He worked it out, and I would say that's not the way to do it. That's not how I'm getting it done, but that guy worked it out. So you can't act like your way is the only way when there's a person who's, maybe it's wrong, but they're working it out. So you just have to show what works for you, and the people that want to learn from that will. The others that just want to watch will watch. But as long as you don't act like you're the only way, you manage to be able to still be here after how many years, like I am. So yeah, pretty OG for sure. As the OG, huh? I'd like to see the video, man. I need some of that every now and then, bro. Roy, that's fun. Yeah, no, I mean, we respect each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we are actually peers in this YouTube crazy game. And I really ought to have them on the show sometime. But both of those folks, Brian and Megan and Nate and Abby, if they want to do it sometime, I can set this up. Calvin, we're just shooting the breeze, you know, RC Pilots Lounge. I've been doing this show for 5 years. Influencer turned industry, turned influencer, turned entrepreneur, turned bankrupt. That's me. You know, the guy who's really giving it all for RC. So, yeah, that's what's up. We're having fun talking though right now. I'm jacked up on enough coffee. I might be able to work this out for a little longer. Who knows? You guys into it? It's been 2-hour show. We're not doing anything but shooting the breeze. And now we're making me feel good, so I might stay on for a minute. Fred, that's no lie. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, interesting. Super interesting. You guys want me to hang on, huh? There is one channel that act high and mighty, and that their say is the only way. Mountain RC. I want to know who you're talking about, but I also kind of don't. Is this the S talk portion of the program? Ha. Group hug. Bust something out, man. I got a DeWalt drill. Everything's built. Like I said, dude, that the big T28's too big, man. Who doesn't? Yeah. Kumbaya, right, sir? So yeah, man, that's what's happening. Good times. Did you see the over the last couple of weeks, man? Horizon did a post on the Losi dirt bike, but they had the Excite bike audio to it. Top notch. Yeah, RC plane. Like there's planes that I feel like I didn't get. If I crashed it or if I got rid of it too quick, I didn't feel like I got. What's up, Randy? I didn't feel like I got done with it. You know, so I'll end up wanting it again. So there's a lot of planes I've had more than once, in a way. I got a Beech 18 again because the first one I had got sold. I didn't really want to sell it, but it was the only one I had, so I sold it. So yeah. So yeah, we're hanging out still. RC Cave Petroglyphs. The OG, huh? Just glad to see the sun come up. That's what's up. All I know is my kid can't beat me in Mario Kart, so bucket list check. Hangar 51 does that. He's got squadrons of planes. 2 turbo timbers in perfect condition. Hannah Sanders. How's it going? Are you the Sanders people I know? It's hard to see the avatar. You might be. What's going on? If it is, it's probably Shane. What up? This is it, man. Can you believe this? If it is who I think it is, I've done this thing, this live stream deal for 5 years or something. But these guys know me from 12 years at least. Well, 2012 is when this channel started. So, yeah. Gosh, that's 12 years on the YouTube. My word. Nuts. But yeah, a lot of you guys know I spent 5 years somewhere else. So that's funny. That's funny. Well, how's it going? Regardless if you're the Sanders, I think you are or not. Welcome to the lacklusterest, most mediocre live stream about RC, airplanes, and surface that you could ever wish to see. How's it going? Roy, you have been with me since 2012, bro. A lot of you guys have been around for a while. RC Death Squadron's got 2 Blackbirds. Did you guys see my Blackbird video, man? Me and Dylan did it on a parking lot by a church. It was awesome, actually. Around to it, bro. I used to want to do Joe Handsome 99. I remember those guys. Do you remember, man, who was the guy, like RC Superpowers or whatever? It was like they were building stuff before flight test. But the guy at Around to it, bro, he had fun though, didn't he? He was funny to watch. It was a husband and wife deal. And honestly, like Around to it reminds me if you mixed RC Informer and Wes together. Like, dude's might as well have had a headset on, tucking in a Hawaiian shirt into his shorts, and then flying. So it's kind of like a blend, like a hybrid Around to it. I used to want to spoof him a little bit, like tuck in my shirt to my shorts and put on a Hawaiian shirt or whatever. But back in the day, you guys remember Chuck Seeker, though? Like Chuck T. Seeker? Round to it and Chuck, back at that time, were some of the first people to get early releases. And so everybody watched, even though neither one of them flew very good early on. You know, interesting. Yeah, man. Those guys were great. And Chuck, we spoke in like emails or somewhere back and forth frequently. Yeah, Roy, I wasn't a fan of those guys. Some of the guys, I was still too new at it. And so when they came along and I was already in it, but I was still new, I was a little bit like, man, get out of here. Who are you? And if the vibe didn't feel right, I was like, nah. They were already grumpy or something, like me now, you know. Funny. But yeah, man, those guys, and Chuck, man, he used to get his stuff from, he was in Australia or New Zealand or something. And so he'd have stuff early, and he would let us, he would show us, he'd make multiple videos of, I think Chuck was like a drummer or in a band, you know what I mean? But he would keep bringing the thing back out and let you see it, you know, and respond to the comments. I mean, I remember talking to companies back then, and I was saying, you guys got to get these things in the hands of some people that can act, that are gonna actually work it out, like fly the dog piss out of it and be able to land it every time repeatedly. That's a good question, Eddie. Yeah, the guys from Slovenia are hilarious, dude. Pilot Robert and Captain Blosh. I mean, they named themselves after Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike. Yeah, they're great, Robert and Blosh. Um, so I'll tell. Yeah, it's a funny story. So they were brand new. Website was brand new. They were brand new, and they had this brand called. And there were a lot of companies that popped up, you know, but none of them really caught my attention until these folks. And the reason is the fact that they had what was at the time called Rock Hobby, which was an offshoot of FMS. And at the time, FMS wasn't represented very well by anybody in the States. Banana or Nitro had their chance and didn't seem to represent it very well. Part support and stock was just lackluster at best. So here's a new company that looked like they were doing things right, and they had this new exclusive line of planes from FMS, which to me said, well, they're probably going to eventually have FMS as well. And I really love the 1400 millimeter Warbirds. This is before jets, guys, before jets were any good. And so on their website, they basically had a contest thing going. And the contest was, if we use your video to represent a product, we will give you credit for that aircraft that you can apply to your next model purchase. Also, they were looking for videographers at the same time. And this was kind of how they were doing it. And so we were just trying to, and I'd already been doing magazine work and stuff like that. So I was just trying to, we were doing the contest, trying to earn credit for a model. So we just keep doing it because it'd be cool to make videos. And they were going to use your video, but it was still off your channel. So you get weren't going to take the content. They'd have just embedded your video on their website, and you'd still get the subs and the views and all that stuff and credit for that plane. So I seriously counted the change off my table. All right, Hannah, cool. Literally counted the change off my table to order that 1450 millimeter B model Mustang Dallas Darling that FMS had from Motion, so we could make a video of it. So we made a video of it. They liked it. They used it to represent the product. And then, so to answer the question, yeah, we kind of seeked them out to try to win a credit for a plane just to keep making videos. But they reached out to us for the videography stuff. And so we did all the photographs and videography that they used to represent the products on the website, on the product pages, as well as took over the social media, which at that time was only Facebook, and like presence and forums a little bit, and of course YouTube. So that's what happened there. So we basically won the contest, and at the same time they were talking to other people too. But our channel had only been around maybe about 9 months at this time, and people were starting to get to know us. We did these flight lessons and all this stuff. People were really grooving on our channel, and it was growing pretty good. We were actually able to land these planes and do touch and goes and things like that. And so the channel was doing pretty well. I knew that new was always going to rule. Whether if you're a tech channel and you don't review the new iPhone, then you're not going to get views, right? So you do the new thing. So first viral video we ever had was like what was it, man? It was the little Piper Archer, like little miniature Cherokee deal. It was like £1. It wasn't a micro, but it wasn't a big plane either. And we flew it in like 25 degrees. It was snowing. It was blowing like crazy. And that video was like the first video that went viral. And for me, viral is like 8,000 views or something in a couple days, especially back then. It all really depends on the niche. I mean, we're never going to go Mr. Beast kind of viral. This is different. So, yeah, so we were doing kind of all right, starting to get noticed, and they, were talking to other people, and we were so new with our own channel that it was really easy for us to say, they needed someone to run social. It was obvious. Like somebody's daughter was running the Facebook. I mean, there were like smiley faces and rainbows on the Facebook and stuff back then for them. It was obvious some teenage girl was doing it. And that's fine, except that's not the demographic. So we took the keys to everything, and they, really the job was videos, but me and Mike had already done all this magazine work. So they mentioned photos and we're like, yeah, we got you there too. So our photos have been stolen all over the internet to represent products sold by other people at this point. Pretty neat. Still, a ton of our photos are out there. So who's the guy putting that plane there for the camera to get it? On the right side of the field, so the light is right. Some guy I know. Pretty wild. Pretty wild, man. And so, yeah, so I deserted this channel for like 5 years to build theirs from basically nothing. I mean, when we took over the YouTube over there, they had a few videos up, but they were all from manufacturers. So they were like, I mean, they all eventually end up getting copyright struck because for content ID, because they were the exact same videos from wherever manufacturer. And this was the manufacturer like Fly Zone and stuff like that back in the day. So that was the only videos they had. There was no presence at all. We were the first faces of that place. And once we came on board, it started blowing up. And they had really crazy good customer service. And it was good products, It was finally a good place to get FMS and support for it. And Freewing came on and started doing jets, and then this Flightline dropped. So we got to bring all the Freewing and Flightline stuff to the world. And we were we even got it locked down so hard where Freewing and Flightline weren't early releasing the stuff in Asia without first having our content to represent the product launch here. Because what would happen is some video from over there came out of a product that's new, but let's say they flew it like garbage, or it was a windy day, or they didn't land it good. And now it's 3 months before we actually get that product over here. And everybody who's interested in that product gets to watch a crap video of it not perform well for 3 months. By the time it's available, they didn't want it. So we petitioned hard. It was like, you have to lock up Freewing and Flightline on the media because the stuff is too good to be willy-nilly about the product's first impression. There's so much research and development, time and money that goes into bringing a product to market that why are you going to let it simmer on a piece of garbage video for 3 months before you ever have a chance to sell it? We saw it happen all the time. And then finally, yeah, we got our way and we were the absolute first to the world with all that stuff. Little old us here in South Bend. It was awesome. And our job, I felt like, since you couldn't go, and this is exclusively sold online, these products, you couldn't see them at a hobby shop. So these things weren't hard to build or assemble, but I always did an assembly video so y'all could see the parts and how it fit, because they're top notch also. And so showing that off was always cool, but it was also great for the business, and it was definitely great for the consumer to see what they were getting, especially since they were new brands. And you had a guy like me who was totally, truly excited about the thing I was messing with because it was quality, right? Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. It was what a hell of a ride. Hell of a ride, man. And when the products are good, they sell themselves. You just have to show it, is all. That's all. So yeah, like again, the products weren't hard to assemble, but like I thought, since this stuff you can't walk in and see it anywhere, I wanted to be the vibe. Like if you went to a hobby shop and opened one up and looked at it and assembled it, this would be what you would see. And so that's what I did. And it worked. It worked. It worked. Yeah, fun times, nuts. So I don't know, man. Who knows? Maybe I'll get to make videos again. I mean, that's what I should be doing. A Midas touch. The anti-sale. Well, if you only do quality products, you don't have to worry about BSing anybody, right? The quality stuff's going to sell itself. And most people that are watching a video are already interested in it, is why they're watching. So you're just giving them something to look at so they can push themselves over the fence and go ahead and click that crazy order button. You know what I mean? Yeah, boss. The more you know. All right. Randy. I mean, probably, yeah. Yeah, Fred. I mean, I was trying to take it serious. I mean, I felt like we had a job to do. And it wasn't that's why it worked, y'all. Because I wasn't trying to sell myself either. It just happened. But Miss Darcy Air Training Command Humor. Yeah, because I was trying to be serious in a way. Like I was trying to like do a job. And the job was to show off the plane, not me. You know? So we were, which I think low key sold us. I mean, that's why at the end of all that, like, I wasn't going to go anywhere. You know, like by accident, all of a sudden there's an audience. And I'm like, shoot, dude, I worked too hard to give this up. So I came right back to this channel. Yeah, thanks, y'all. I'm definitely lacking on production. I mean, I know it. I know it. Oh man, it was always so exciting to do something new. And a lot of times I wouldn't have much time to turn it around. Man, I've worked so hard for RC, guys. Uh, I mean, I can't remember how many times we got a plane and that week had to turn it around. So we'll see. We'll see. Got to be flexible to survive. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, man, it's been quite a ride. And I've been on some podcasts before where we've talked, the history. Even Mike and I both were on a podcast a couple different times where the history of it all kind of was discussed, and it's quite a start, you know. That's all I ever wanted to do, boss, but not run a bank account. Anyway, RC After Hours, that's what it was. That was one of them. Yeah. I was on some content creator podcast one time too that was interesting. I don't know how much of the beginning story we got, or if it was just kind of like YouTube strategy. Huh. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a job. It's a full time. I mean, it's all about connections, right? You put in the work and good things happen. But I mean, those guys were running live stream for me on the back end when I interviewed guests from companies, and then they got jobs at companies. Got them in the game. Then they got jobs at other companies. So, I mean, it all points back. Crazy. But that's all, it's all waffle. It's all talk, man. The real deal is out there ripping the snot out of these things, y'all. And I haven't been bringing it, and I know it. So, sorry. It's nuts. It's always been like that, man. It's like the story of my life, bro. I had a rock band do pretty good for a while one time too. It was like so close you could taste it. And there's always another plan happening, I think, is part of it too. Sometimes you get saved from yourself, but I don't think so at this point. I think it's just what it is. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Go watch some old stuff, comment, whatever, share it if you think it's cool. Appreciate you coming by the live stream. There's short form, content to look at too when you want little small, easier to digest bites. What was your band's name? I'm not gonna say. That's a whole nother show. All right, you guys, appreciate you. Check out your buddies. Yeah, check out the short form. I got plenty of it out there already. I might make new, I might not. If I do, it'll be in the snow what's the story of how Horizon Hobby? The Horizon Hobby starting story, I don't really know exactly. The other story, I mean, like I said, I started there for like 4 or 5 months after they opened. So I'm very much part of that story. But I think we told it a little bit probably in those podcasts when we were still working there. I'm literally not gonna give a bunch of free press to them though now. So that's kind of what it is. You got to pay for it at this point because I'm paying for it. So it kind of is what it is. Good stuff. I will never tell a lie, but that me telling the story tonight is as much as we're gonna probably get. Yep. So we'll see you next time. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you. 5. Hanger Rats forever. 3 later. You're too good to be forgotten. We will see you next time. Bye now. It wasn't metal. Boom.